All right, today we are diving into one of the most powerful and honestly relentless spiritual texts ever written, the Ashtavakra Gita. Now, this isn't about feel-good affirmations or 10-step plans. It's a raw, direct dialogue that's designed to spark a major shift in perception. And it all kicks off with one single, burning question.
So, the whole thing starts right here. This question comes from a guy named King Janaka. And you have to understand, this is a man who has everything. All the power, all the wealth you could imagine, and yet he feels trapped. He's miserable. So he goes to a sage, Ashtavakra, and asks him this. And the answer he gets, well, that's the whole story.
Okay, before we go any further, you just need to get this one single distinction. The whole text really boils down to two ideas. There's the real. That's the changeless, silent awareness that's just watching everything. And then there's the apparent. That's, well, everything else. The world, your body, your thoughts, the story of you. If you can get your head around this one split, you have the master key to this entire dialogue.
So let's set the stage. On one side, you have King Janaka, successful on the outside, but feeling completely stuck on the inside. And on the other, you have the sage Ashtavakra, who holds the answer to the king's problem. The king asks his desperate question, and what he gets back is just shockingly direct.
I mean, how simple is that? Ashtavakra doesn't tell him to go meditate for 20 years or follow a bunch of complicated rules. He just says, stop believing you are the person, that little bundle of thoughts, memories, and roles you play. Instead, just rest as the silent awareness that witnesses it all. And the promise he makes is insane. Instant freedom. So you're probably thinking, yeah, right, instant freedom. But here's where the story gets wild. Ashtavakra makes this incredible promise. And for King Janaka, it actually works. On the spot.
You can just hear the shock in Janaka's voice. This isn't just an intellectual aha moment. It's a full-blown realization. He suddenly sees that his entire life, this feeling of being a separate, struggling guy, was just a huge misunderstanding, a case of mistaken identity. He wasn't the king trapped in the world. He was the free awareness that the world was appearing in.
And to try and explain this new vision, he uses this beautiful metaphor. Think about the ocean, right? You've got waves, foam, bubbles. They all look different, but they're all just water. He's saying that's what the universe is. All these people and places and things look separate, but really, they're all just expressions of the one self. It's all the same stuff.
And he follows it up with this other brilliant analogy. From a distance, you see a shirt. But if you get your face right up to it, what do you see? It's just threads. In the same way, he's saying, if you look closely at creation, past all the surface-level appearances, you find it's all just made of one thing, the self. But it's not over yet. Having a big breakthrough is one thing, but is it stable? Is it going to last? Ashtavakra needs to be sure. So now he starts to test the king to see if any of that old identity, that person, is still hanging around.
Ashtavakra comes right at him. He's basically asking, okay, so if you've really seen that you're this infinite, indestructible awareness, why do you still want stuff? Why do you care about money and pleasure? It's a really sharp, fiery question designed to see if the king is still attached to the illusion, even a little bit.
And Janaka's response is just perfect. He's totally unshaken. He basically says, who says I have to reject the world? True freedom isn't about running away to a cave. It's about seeing life for what it is, an appearance in the self, and then being able to live it fully without getting hooked.
So Ashtavakra can see that the king really gets it. Now it's time to go deeper. The next step isn't about realization anymore. It's about dissolution. Look at what he says here. Let go of the mind, know you're one, and then, this is the kicker, realize there's nothing to dissolve because it was all an illusion to begin with. So the only instruction left is to just rest. Just be the perfect, changeless self you already are.
And this final teaching pushes Janaka into the final stage of this journey. His understanding becomes so complete that the very way he uses language starts to fall apart, pointing to a reality that's just beyond words.
So we see this really fascinating shift. Janaka stops making big declarations like I am free or I am awareness. He seems to realize that even the word I is just another concept. Instead, he just starts asking these massive, unanswerable questions, which shows he's moving beyond the mind altogether.
I mean, just listen to this. The whole journey started by understanding unity over duality. But now he's asking where even the concept of unity is. It's like he used the ladder of concepts to climb to the roof, and now he's kicking the ladder away. He's pointing to something that no concept can touch.
And then comes this final waterfall of questions. It's like he's taking every concept we build our lives on, the world, the doer, knowledge, even I and mine, and just holding them up until they disappear. This is the final bonfire. The very last pieces of the personal self are being burned away.
And that's how it ends. Janaka's last words are basically a declaration of silence. Because when you see that every concept, including the you who is speaking, is an illusion, what is left to say? That silence is the final teaching. It's pointing directly at the reality that can't be spoken.
So after that incredibly intense journey, what's the big takeaway for us right now? Why does this ancient kind of radical conversation still matter so much?
It all comes right back to that simple distinction we made at the very beginning. This whole text is a manual for shifting your sense of identity, a shift away from the person, this temporary package of a body, thoughts, and personal history, and a shift toward the self, that silent, timeless, formless awareness that is effortlessly witnessing this whole show.
And ultimately, the text doesn't give you a neat answer to memorize. It leaves you with a question that it wants you to live with. If you aren't your body, you aren't your thoughts, and you aren't the story you tell yourself, then who or what are you, really? That question right there, that's where the real journey begins.